Okay, so this is Michael with digitaltshirtshop.com here. Excuse me. So we had a sale come in from Mindy in New York, and then she turned around and wanted to cancel the sale. Well, we have not had a lot of sales coming in. So what I want to do, what I wanted to do with her actually is try to keep the sale. So I send her a message back. She immediately, right after she made the purchase, she turned around and said, I want to cancel the purchase because it's an all black image. I looked at her order. She was ordering 2 white shirts. Well, I can print full color on white shirts. That's not a problem. So I wrote her back and I said, well, I can, if you're buying white shirts, I could put these in color. And she was ecstatic about it. She said, great. Why don't you turn around and make the image so the top of the pineapple is green, like a regular pineapple, and the bottom of the pineapple is yellow, like a regular pineapple, and then leave the sunglasses because I want the sunglasses on the pineapple. And I said, okay, well, that's cool. I'll go ahead and do that. So what I'm going to do with you is actually go and do this. So this is my image in Illustrator. So I thought I'd kind of show you how I would go about doing this. So the first thing I have over the top of this image is this layer. Now, I'm kind of bad at going through and taking the time to label everything. Over here on my layers is where I would actually label what all the layers are. In this case, I've got a distressed layer over the top. I'm just going to lock that in place by clicking right here and creating a little lock on it. And that way I will not manipulate that. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and change this, the top of the pineapple. Now, as I'm thinking about it, uh, if I was to turn around and I was to make the bottom of this pineapple, I'm going to actually lock those sunglasses too. If I was to make the bottom of this pineapple yellow, yellow, uh, given the way that it turns out printing with direct-to-garment printing, yellow is not a very striking color unless unless it has something to contrast it a little bit. So as I've been thinking about it, I thought, maybe I'll make it kind of a gradient. I'm going to cough just a second. My allergies I've had for the last few days have started to kind of give me kind of a cough. So hopefully that doesn't bother you. Anyhow, this I thought I'd give this kind of a gradient color, which is kind of a transitioning color. Now, reds come out pretty red, orange comes out pretty red, yellow comes out pretty yellow. So I've got to kind of be mindful of that as I go and create this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lock the top of that image, the part that I'm going to make green, the kind of flowery stem thing at the top. And on these others, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add this gradient color. However, I'm going to play with this just a little bit because I know the colors shift quite dramatically. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make the lighter, a lighter orange, the edge. I'm also going to make this a little more radial. So instead of having that color just on the left-hand side of each of the kind of segments of the pineapple here, I'm going to have it kind of go around it because it'll actually make it so that the yellow's in the center by making it radial, and then the oranges are around it on the outside as though it were circular. And then I think I'm going to actually make sure this yellow, I'm going to double click on that and kind of see where my yellow is here. I could make that yellow, and then I'm going to shift this so that the yellow is stronger through more of it, and then the orange is just kind of on the outside edges, the fringe edges of it. But that way I'll keep the yellow there in the center. Now, if I wanted to really make this pineapple-ish, God, I really wonder about making that edge green instead. Doesn't it seem to me whenever I get pineapples, that those edges are actually green, they're not orange. I wonder if I was to do that, how that would look. was to go and just do a little Google search of a pineapple here. Want to hear a great song? The Pen Pineapple song's a great song. Pen, apple, pineapple, pen. Anyhow, so looking at this, I mean, kind of a little green, kind of a little red. I don't want to really complicate this. Little yellow. I could probably get away with just making it the, excuse me, the orange and yellow, even though it does tend to have a little bit of green going around the outside. It's more just kind of, I mean, everybody's going to see it and know what it is, so it's not that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and let's just try it with it being the orange. Now, because I made this, the little segments, a gradient down here, I really would like to kind of make the top part of it a gradient as well. So I'm going to lock these layers here. Actually, what I should do is, I don't realize there's quite so many of them. And then we'll unlock that one. Reason being I can just select it like that, and then I'm not going to end up picking these top ones. Anyhow, so let's change these colors. So I'll make this kind of a light green. This one may be a little bit more of a medium green, and then this one a little bit more of a dark green. There we have that. Now, I was going to try to I could do that. I could shift that to one side. I could actually keep it radial again. I could like the radial look a little bit better. No, I actually think I like having this one come from the side. So there's some difference in color. So there you go. So that's what I would probably do, is something similar to that. I don't think it necessarily needs to. I mean, I could go through and be meticulous as all get out, and you know, individualize the gradient to each of these shapes down here. I could be more meticulous about the coloring. And actually, with this coloring, I probably really ought to go much lighter on this green, because this green's not going to show up. If I click on this too many times, it doesn't want to. I mean, you're not going to see as contrasting a difference unless I go quite a bit lighter on that green. So between this gradient here, so I'll probably do that, and then we'll see how that turns out. So anyhow, that's probably what I would do. So in order to keep the sale, we're going to give her a colored pineapple. I'm just going to go and kind of check these again and make sure that maybe I don't want to make that just a little bit. So I probably want the stronger yellow there, but just a little bit more like that. Just shift these colors a little bit so that I'm yeah, we'll try that. We'll see how that turns out. Uh, I guess what I was really worried about is that yellow. That yellow has such a tendency to shift to red that I want to kind of lighten all of that a little bit more. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that and see how it turns out.